Hansel and Gretel stood in the quiet clearing, the forest whispering around them like a living thing. Hansel took Gretel's hand, his grip firm and reassuring, and led her toward the path they had taken earlier. He was so sure, so confident in his clever plan. But when they reached the first place where a stone should have been, there was nothing. No pale shimmer of moonlight on a smooth pebble. Just damp earth and a tangle of dark, gnarled roots. Hansel frowned, confusion clouding his face. "I dropped one right here," he insisted, more to himself than to Gretel. Gretel knelt, her small hands brushing aside damp leaves, her fingers searching the cold ground. "Maybe animals took them?" she suggested, her voice barely a whisper. But as they walked farther, a cold, heavy dread began to settle in their stomachs. The truth became impossible to ignore. Every single stone had vanished. It wasn't just bad luck. It was as if the forest itself had erased their trail. The world seemed to shift and warp around them. The trees leaned closer, their branches curling like skeletal fingers reaching for them. The shadows stretched and danced in unnatural ways, no longer just the absence of light, but something solid and menacing. Gretel's voice was trembling as she whispered, "Hansel, the forest doesn't want us to go back." Hansel tried to stay calm, to be the brave older brother, but a tremor ran through his voice. "Stones don't just disappear. Someone or something moved them." They kept walking, desperately searching for a familiar landmark, a sign that they were heading home. But the paths twisted strangely, looping back on themselves in a dizzying maze. What looked like a clear trail one moment would become a dense wall of thorny brambles the next. The forest felt alive, watching, listening, and deciding their fate. It was a hunter, and they were its prey. After what felt like hours of aimless wandering, their legs aching and their hope dwindling, they stumbled upon a huge fallen tree. It was covered in a thick blanket of bright green moss that seemed to glow in the dim light, and its shape was almost like a giant sleeping creature. They had never seen it before. They were completely, utterly lost. Gretel reached out and touched the soft bark gently, a strange look on her face. "Hansel, I don't think we're lost." Hansel turned to her, bewildered. "Then what are we?" She swallowed hard, her eyes wide with a dawning, terrifying realization. Being led. Before Hansel could even begin to process what she meant, a new sensation drifted through the air. A warm, sweet smell, soft, sugary, and impossibly comforting. It smelled like caramel melting over a fire, like freshly baked bread warm from the oven. It was a smell of home, of safety, of everything they were missing. It was a smell that called to them, pulling them forward. Gretel's eyes widened, her fear momentarily forgotten. "Do you smell that?" Hansel nodded slowly, his own senses captivated by the enchanting aroma. "Yes, and it's close." Forgetting their fear, they followed the scent, pushing through the trees with renewed energy. The smell grew stronger, thicker, until the forest suddenly opened into a glowing clearing. And there, rising from the earth like something from a dream, stood a house unlike anything they had ever imagined. But as they stepped closer, their hunger and wonder battling with a tiny, persistent whisper of warning, they realized the house wasn't made of wood. It was made of something dangerously sweet. To see what Hansel and Gretel discover next, be sure to subscribe and watch episode 3, The House of Sweet Secrets. You won't want to miss it.